today taking a trip up to my good friend Paul. Going to see a cabin in the woods. Watch this space. Going to show you this cabin. It's a really lovely little cabin in the woods, and he's done a great job with it. Got some electric in there, solar power, rainwater harvesting. It's a lovely little shack, and we'll go see that right now. And that's the new cabin that he's built this last year or so. We'll do a little tour of the cabin. I think it's quite a nice feature. It's a nice little hideaway hole. It's an oak framed cabin. Has solar power, electricity. Has a rainwater harvest system. Has a wood burning stove. It's quite compact, but just perfect for a couple people to sit in comfort. It's pretty nice. We'll go and have a look on the inside. I'll give you a tour on the inside. There's a solar panel up there, and you can see we're in quite a wooded area. But it gets, I think it's a 60-watt panel, and it gets plenty enough sunshine in this particular little clearing here to keep his battery topped up, and he runs lights and a radio, and he can charge his phone in there. So it's quite adequate for his needs, and heating is taken care of with the log burner, so it doesn't burn any electric up for heating. Just a fantastic little place. It's in a lovely setting here. It's just very, very quiet. It's a good way off from even the track. Even the closest track is a good couple of 100 yards away, and that's only a dirt track that's hardly ever driven, just by farm vehicles mainly. So it is a lovely little setting. And there's Paul there right now, doing his housework. Nice one, Paul. Lovely little cabin this. Nice oak door, oak panelling. Let's go and see what goodies we have inside. Oh, comfy chairs. Really nice. So the main centerpiece of this whole cabin really is that wood burner, and that gives out loads of heat. So that vents up through the loft, through the roof. The ceiling is panelled with LED lights. Let's put those on for you. So plenty of light here in the winter. So Paul's got his lovely comfortable seats in here. It's wood stock, coal, lighting equipment. Tools, his certificates for chainsaws, etc. Some nice little touches. Radio. We've been listening to the cricket. India playing England at the Ageas Bowl. My two youngest daughters are there watching that. This is an old Coalbrookdale stove. So it's a little wood burning stove. Just to give you an idea of size, that's my hand there. So it's quite a small stove. And there's my hand in the stove. There's quite a small opening, but Paul uses all these little bits and pieces of wood. And plenty of heat out of that thing. I guess it's about 2-3 kilowatts easily. When you get it roaring, it's really nice and warm. So to the electrics, we have here a main isolator for the inverter, a solar charge controller here, and then there are some electrical outlets. So there's a 230 volt socket outlet there, and USB charging ports. He has his smoke and CO alarms, and these are light switches for the outside lights and for the inside lights. And for the 230 volt power, he has a small two-way consumer unit with 30 milliamp RCD protection. From the solar panel, we bring power down to this battery box here. It's just got a loose cover, which is quite chunky, nice bit of oak. And then in here, a bit of insulation just to keep the frost out. It's got a decent sized leisure battery, 12 volt leisure battery, and an inverter here, just a small inverter. It's all that's really needed. It's a 150 watt Belkin inverter, and that seems to work really well. It looks a bit messy in here, but it's just all 12 volt stuff. You can just about hear the fan running on that Belkin. So this is kind of the power source, if you like, the battery area. So keep that insulation in there. And then inside the cabin, which we'll look at in a minute, there's an isolator for the battery. And then it's the Belkin inverter then turns the 12 volts into 230 volt, which feeds some sockets inside. And the lighting. We'll go take a look at that in a moment. For external lighting, we have a little mini 10 watt flood right here, and then there's a door light here that you can just about see. That's another little 10 watt flood there. So plenty of light at night just to light up this area and the pathway in front leading up to where the cars are over there. It is a really lovely little cabin, this. It's only about I think 8 foot by 8 foot inside, but it's a fantastic little hideaway. It's really nice in the winter when it's cold and you've got the log burner on. Do quite like this. Instead of a downpipe, there's a chain here, a link chain. So the idea is that the water just dribbles down the chain and then goes into this little trough thing, little guttering, and then goes and feeds the honeysuckle plant here. And that seems to quite like it. Seems quite happy there. This is Paul's little garden. There's little steps, and yeah, very nice. Continually changing, continually moving forward. So this is quite a novel idea. Look, an old tree stump, and this is what we would call a dustbin lid. So way back when I was very young, dustbins were all the rave in the UK. In the US, you call them trash cans, but the dustbins used to be galvanized steel, and this is one of the lids, and it's now being used as a bird bath. So that's pretty cool, pretty novel. The rock obviously holds it down, and it's filled up with rainwater, and also the rock provides a place for the birds to land on and bathe themselves. Like it. Also, we have an outdoor toilet, and this is kind of cool. So again, Paul's built this. It's got a sort of insect screen. Hang on a minute, sort my camera out. So it has like an insect screen. You can see that windows, which gives some privacy. There you go, it's a nice little toilet. Again, it's made from oak on the most part. Oh, have I locked it? I can't get in. Ah, there we go. So a household toilet. There we go. And it flushes, as you would expect a toilet to. And it just composts into the ground. And it gets rarely used. And here, this is where the rainwater goes. And there, see in there. That's just a very simple gravity feed down through this pipe here into the toilet. So Paul manually tops this up with rainwater from these tanks here. It's a very small roof. We could put a gutter on that and drain it into there, but at this point he hasn't done that. He might do, we'll see. So I just want to thank Paul for letting us tour his cabin, the cabin in the woods. So great, look out for new vids. Here we go, beautiful sunshine here in Hampshire. And this is Hampshire, England, not New Hampshire, USA. Anyway, thanks for watching. Till next time.